And you don't want to draw the vertical line too deep, because when you stretch it, if you draw it too deep, it's gonna split a lot, very big split, and it might crack. So just a very small one, okay, small one. And now I'm going to brush the sodium silicate. I leave the top maybe half an inch without brushing the sodium silicate, because when you stretch, you don't want to, especially if you're going to use for making like a cup or mugs, you want to keep the rim a little bit smooth. If you're brushing the sodium silicate, it's going to be too rough there. So I'm leaving that without brushing it. I'm putting some water back to the inside of the wall, so that when I'm stretching it, it will be slippery. And I'm going to use my a wooden rib. This is 3 inches to stretch it. Alright, so pretty quick I made the Sodium Silicate Texture Teabowl with the vertical lines. I was using this to draw the vertical lines. You don't want to draw too deep. Okay, so that's the texture. Alright, so hope this helped. So before I trim, I also like to know exactly how thick the bottom is. So here I'm demonstrating using my bottom thickness check-in measuring tool. This is a smaller set, 3 pieces, so you know instantly from the top to the inside, the center, and then from the top to the wheel head. So you subtract the difference, you come up with the thickness. If you have 3 pieces, then you know it right away. If not, you can just use 2 pieces, one measure inside and then pull out and then put it on the outside slot and measure outside, and you memorize it, and then you subtract it. I already checked it. The outside it's 99, okay, from the top to the wheel head. Inside is 81, so subtract 99 to 81, come up with 18, okay? So it's 18 millimeters. Before I start to trim, I know exactly how thick the bottom is. And this is my small set of measuring tool. I have a larger one, a little bit larger, a little bit longer, okay? So, and you can also pick it up from my Etsy shop, etsy.com. Just type in my name, Hsinchuen. It should pop out a whole bunch of different tools, okay? Alright, so I am just going to use water to stick on the wheel head, and there are a couple methods to put your piece, to anchor your pieces down. Mine is porcelain, so it's kind of smooth, so I usually do it that way. Just use water to stick it. I don't mind the bottom it's not center. You can see that because I was using when I throw. But the important part is you want to check this part that I am going to trim. Okay, the bottom, the rim is a little bit wobbly. That's okay. So I'm just checking this part here. And then once I find my center, I'm just applying pressure, and the water is kind of holding down the pot. Okay. And the trimming, I usually like to use 2 of my tools just for the foot trimming. And this tool is kind of dirty. These 2 are my carbide tools. Okay, it's very easy to clean. Just dip it in the water and just use a sponge to slightly wipe it. That's all. Very easy to clean. Okay, so I'm using this tool to do the footing, the trimming. Use number 3, do all the heavy lifting, and then getting the corner down using, because this number 2, I have a very perfect 90 degrees, so it's easy to get the foot down nicely. Okay, so usually I use this one, remove the clay. And 18 millimeters is really thick. Okay, 18 millimeters. It's more than half of inch. I would say about more than 3/4 inch. Right, so before I get it to the right thickness, I like to measure it. So I know it's 18 millimeters, and my goal for leaving the thickness here in the center is 3. Okay, when I measure within 3 millimeters, meaning I'm going to go 15. Okay, 15 deep, and then I will stop. So now it is about 10, so I have 5 more to go. Check it again. Okay, now it's about 14, so I will do 1 more millimeter and then stop. Alright, so that's it. 15 millimeters. So I will stop right here so that I know this part here is actually 4 millimeters thick, because there's the thickness. This is about 1 millimeter thick. So when I'm checking it, I measure 3, you have to plus add the 1 millimeter here. So it's actually 4 millimeters. Okay, and then that's the sum, 4 millimeters. Okay, you memorize it. So next time, if you don't have the tool, you cut anything the similar shape, the similar thickness, similar dryness, you hear the sound, you stop. Okay, so that's how you learn it. Okay, by tapping the sound, and then you know how thick the bottom is, and then you stop. But you have to practice by using the measurement tool, and in the long run, you got all the experience, you know that's the sound, you stop, and you don't need to depend on the measuring tool anymore. Okay, And now this part is right, so I'm going to trim the outside part. The outside part, because the inside, when you have making bowl or tea bowls, the inside has a little curve. So actually, this corner here and this corner, the outside corner could be a little bit lower, okay, a little bit, or even the same height. But it could be a little bit lower because since the inside has a little curve. So that's how I decide how much clay to remove from the outside. So it's almost the same height. I'm going to just finish up, let it look nicer. So I'm using the corner here, the corner of my number 2 trimming tool to a little bit undercut. Okay, so when I'm dipping in the glaze, to dip it in the glaze, there's a little indentation there, so hopefully the glaze will stop right there. Okay, that's my idea of making a little undercut there. And then depending on how tall you want to leave your foot, now is a good time. If you want to have a shorter foot, you can just go ahead and remove a little bit clay so to make it shorter. So usually I leave my bottom a bit thicker, so I have some wiggle room for me to decide how tall I want my foot. But usually I leave my foot quite a bit of height because it's easier for me to hold on the foot and apply the glaze on. So here's a little bit rough, and if you want to make it smooth, you could add a little bit of water and then use a rubber rib to burnish a bit. So when you burnish, it's much smoother here, and also the foot. And if you wanted to, you could add a little bit of texture if you like, chattering texture or just a simple line. You just go add in a simple circular lines. Alright, so making a nice foot on the sodium silicate teabowl, and now putting my stamp right on the foot. I have shown you the different sizes of the my signature here. This is fitting the size. Okay, so I don't need to sign my name, just using the stamp. Right, and then to remove it, just simply hold it, because I was using water to stick, so the whole piece stick on the wheel head. Just hold it down and then twist it. Okay, twist it. And clean up the rim. This is porcelain, so I'm just using my sponge to do that. If you have stoneware, it's better to use a chamois, okay, so that you don't drag the grog out of your clay. Alright, so this is the finished Sodium Silicate Texture Teabowl. Alright, so that's the foot, 4 millimeters, so that the wall is following through all the way here to here. It's very even, okay, very even wall, and the whole piece is very balanced. Alright, so hope this helped, and see you next time.